Hello, I'm Duane, and I make things. It's been a while, it's been a minute. I have recently been made aware that there is a thing that people are doing, which is always crazy. People are making long Furbies. I don't understand why, I don't know who started this, but it is a thing, and because it is a thing that can be done, people do it. They skin the Furby and then they like extend it and they make a whole new like fur sleeve tube. Some of them have appendages. It's very cursed. The kids are doing it. I don't like missing out. I'm a maker of things. And on top of all this, I've recently heard of a Furby that's being kept in a dark chasm not too far off from the lands in which I reside. I was absorbing this information and I said to myself, this looks like a job for Utah Johnson. Oh, son of a... Oh my God. There it is. Wait a minute. Alright, so from what I understand, this is how the long Furby thing works. You make it a new skin. I hate saying that word, but we gotta go with it because it's the whole thing. It extends from the bottom and it goes off as long as you want, but the whole thing is that it comes out from the bottom and it's the same width as the Furby itself. I don't feel that this is technically a long Furby. I think that this is a tall Furby because it comes out from the bottom. We're not gaining length, we're gaining height. So I want mine to extend from the back, just like this, making it actually long. So the first thing you're going to do is, after administering a generous amount of anesthetic, take your seam ripper and begin to slowly remove those seams from the bottom of the Furby. Gently working your way around and just kind of unsheathing it. And this is where you learn that a skinned Furby is amongst one of the most cursed images you will ever see. So Furbies have a faceplate. It's this little thing, you've seen it, it frames the eyes and the mouth, and it is very firmly attached to the skin of the Furby because that's essentially what's really holding it on there. I'm going through, undoing all those seams, and taking it out. I don't actually need the back half of the Furby. I'm designing my own back half of the Furby. The front half, however, I am going to need. I need to slowly dissect it and use these pieces to make a pattern to make my new Furby skin. It's gonna take me a while to get used to saying that. Just tracing those pieces as closely as I can, cutting them out and using them as patterns to make my new Furby skin. Using this sky blue fabric as my base, marking where the grain goes so I know, but messing it up anyway. The next step is to realize that you messed up and make another piece in an attempt to correct yourself, and then realize that you still messed up, so make a third one, and then you're good to go. Moving on to this sort of tummy area using this pink shag fur that I also picked up a while back. Brushing it out real quick, and once all the pieces are cut out, I can begin the assembly process, which I do by hand, because my sewing machine, like most sewing machines, does not like the taste of fur. But as anybody who has worked with this kind of thing knows, fur covers a multitude of sins. If you're just starting out doing custom stuffed animals or just working with fabric and sewing in general, fur is a great thing to practice on because it really helps to disguise those less desirable seams. Here I'm just laying out several feet of that fabric and cutting out the piece that will be the long part of the long Furby. Just ignoring that bald spot. It's important not to pay attention to that bald spot. We're not going to talk about the bald spot. I originally cut out like a 50-inch long piece because I really wanted this to be long, even if I ended up having to lop off a couple inches. My goal is for this to almost be wearable, like a scarf that you would wear to a very messed up event. Folding that guy in half long ways and beginning the process of sewing the entire thing shut. Once I got about 7 inches from the end of it, I actually added a wedge of that pink fabric underneath to kind of extend the belly of the Furby and help to join it with the rest of it. Just give it a little bit more room when it's being wrapped around the base using the zip tie. That'll make sense later. We'll talk about that later. Come back later. Turning it right side out with the help of a broom there, and once that's taken care of, I begin the strenuous process of stuffing it. And now, if you would, I'd like you to join me for some of my deep personal opinions. I think woman was created before man. I don't think it went male and then female. I think God just made a woman and was like, whoa, man. I'm a firm believer in that a stoplight is a chandelier. A hanging light fixture with multiple lights. Chandelier. Go! I think I've inhaled enough fuzz to make a couple cats. I don't understand why the vice president sucks in every single, end of the world movie. The lead scientist or somebody is trying to explain things to the president. The president is usually pretty diligent. The president's sitting there like, what is it we can do? And the vice president's like, this is ridiculous. Ow. DIY acupuncture, also known as an accident. You can usually gauge the quality of a diner based on how many pages are on the menu. And if it has a spiral, you may want to leave. I like how we have special names for meat once we start eating it. It's not cow, it's beef. Finish your pig. Pork. Mutton was not as big of a hit. I don't believe in being together. I like one together. Thank God that's over because I have to paint things now. Once that's all taken care of and everything's dried, I'm taking the faceplate and beginning the process of reattaching it to the front half of the Furby. It's really important that I get this right because really the entirety of the Furby is anchored right in the face. If I don't do this properly, the Furby might come loose and just end up getting lost inside itself, which is quite possibly the only thing that could possibly make this thing more cursed. Once that's complete, I'm taking hot glue and, just like it was done originally, using it to adhere the faceplate to the Furby. Putting a little bit around the eyes and on the cheeks. Do Furbies have cheeks? Beginning the final assembly, using the Henson stitch, attaching the Furby to the rest of its new, long self. And now I'm just taking a couple pieces of that pink, wrapping it around the actuators that control the ears, and hot gluing them in place. I don't know why I'm getting quieter, but I feel like I should. Okay, I think I've done it. Now let us see the ungodly thing that I have done. Well, if you're hearing this, it means you've wasted another perfectly good chunk of time watching one of my videos. Thanks for doing that, it really helps me out. This was a journey. This was a journey, and one that I will never forget. If you're interested in following me on any other forms of social media, or you'd like to support my future endeavors, the ingredients for all those things are in the dippity scrippity. As always, I've got plenty of things cooking up, coming out soon, so if you want to check that out, stick around. As always, I don't know why I keep looking at it. And as always, if you like what we did here, there's a neato little button down below that says subscribe. If you hit it, we can do this again, and again, and again, and again. I know the world is kind of a scary place right now. In all seriousness, please be safe. Please make sure you're taking care of yourself and others. And until next time.
Jeez.